talking. I'm Timothy Mitchell with Mamaki USA, and I am here in front of the Klieverik, which is the final step of the TRAPIS printing program. I'm here with my friend John Ginsler, who is an expert on the subject, because you probably run far more materials through this wonderful calendar press than I have.
Yeah. Yes.
A lot more.
Yes.
Like 20 plus.
So many.
I've run one, maybe two. But the idea is you take the file, prepare it, just like any file, bring it into your RIP. In your case, you use ErgoSign.
Yes.
Then it goes to the printer, in this case, a Mamaki TS330-160. It prints directly to a cold and hove paper, specialty paper. You have one profile, you have one paper. It rolls through, and then you take it and bring it here, and then you run all kinds of different fabrics.
Yep.
And the calendar press, in my opinion, is the key and the critical part of any sublimation operation, because it's kind of where the magic happens.
Yeah.
You know, that's where your paper with the ink on it marries with the fabric, lines up perfectly, and the better your calendar press, the more effective and the consistency you get. Klieverik and Monte Antonio both make calendar presses for this process. I think you use quite a bit more pressure.
Yes,
I think that's one of the keys.
That's key to it, to get the to get the treatment that's on the paper and all the ink to transfer. But there's, besides the technically needing it, it does help get great color. Get great color on there. Get all the ink to transfer. Good contact, sharp detail that you're not going to get with a direct printer, because there's no distance between the print head and the fabric.
Yeah, it has to usually be quite a bit different.
Yeah.
So in this case, what we have up here is wool.
Yeah.
Wool. Nobody prints to wool. It's
difficult.
You need a very specialized workflow to print to wool.
Yes.
And, this is one of the many things that we test with this particular process, is the ability to do things that are complete outliers.
Yeah.
Things that normally use very specialty ink sets with a very specialty workflow with coatings, and 9 times out of 10, probably more like 19 out of 20, the TRAPIS can do it.
Yeah. Most types of fabric can be printed somehow, somewhere.
Right.
But not all with the same system, all short runs, all in the same day.
Sure. So your versatility message on this is so much better than pretty much everything else in the market.
Yeah. So,
and the calendar press is key. There is a strong pressure. You can use these presses for standard sublimation. You would use a very different pressure setting.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's a specialized press that is necessary for this workflow, because the workflow is the paper, the Mamaki printer, the Mamaki pigment inks, and either the Monte Antonio, or in our case, we use the Klieveriks here in Los Angeles. All excellent components, all absolute top-of-the-line manufacturing companies working in concert to create the TRAPIS program, because it's paper, it's RIP, it's printer, and it's calendar press, which is still true in a dye sub workflow.
Yeah.
Same workflow.
Yeah. If you're used to
dye sub, you're not going to have trouble figuring
it's not that different of a workflow. It's much easier than switching to a direct, with all the different steps and all the different ways you have to print different fabrics, changing the head height, the level of cleaning of your heads, way less.
I think the way I look at this too is we're pretty much at the ground level of exploration here. Being at the ground level of a new technology is kind of exciting, because there's a lot of things nobody's thought to print on that might be a breakthrough success for someone. And then, 2 years later, we found out, hey, we printed on this very unusual bamboo. And this particular printer does a really good job with these settings, because there's still refinements that you can do. A little quicker, a little slower, a little different temperatures, and you might get, again, slightly different results. So there's a wide open exploratory element to this even though Mamaki has pretty standard stuff for linens and cottons and all your normal stuff that you would do, it would seem to me that this is an open exploratory opportunity for somebody who is adventurous, if somebody creative, wants to try new materials, new fabrics, new settings. I think you could probably still make, we built, I think, a pretty durable workflow.
Yeah.
Like it's solid.
Yeah.
I had very professional people, for example, work on the color work and the profile. So out of the box, we're good. But I still think there's probably refinements, improvements, and then there's probably fabrics we haven't even thought about.
Yeah, and if someone is focusing on a particular fabric that they're going to use the system for, I'm sure they could dial it in exactly for that. Right. That doesn't diminish the versatility of it, but it also means if someone has a certain fabric they want to work with, they've had difficulty working with, or they haven't been able to do it domestically, then they can use TRAPIS for it.
Right. And I think there's also a possibility that, let's say you had 10 different kinds of wool, you might find these 6 are highly compatible, these 3 are less so, a couple no, and then further refinement of settings might allow you to really narrow down like a perfect choice.
Yeah.
And in that case, much of that work is yet to be done.
Yeah. But I do think that so far, it's worked on all the different types.
Yeah, I've been very surprised at how many things it works on.
Yeah,
I was skeptical. So until I looked at it and went, "Wow, that looks really good."
We'll see. Someone will find out.
Someone will find out. So that's your third piece of the puzzle. The first part, of course, software. Build your own design. Designers, I think this is a huge opportunity for you. It's a way to. I can't think of a better way to make cool prototyping. I mean, if you're in the prototyping business, this is a definite plus because you get into it without spending really a lot of money and you get very high quality results. From the design, it goes to the software. From the software, it's really easy. I mean, it's a standard dye sublimation printer with pigment inks running heavyweight paper. So the paper is very easy to load and to operate. It's not even thin paper. Then your paper comes over to the calendar press and you run this just like any other standard calendar press, except you have more pressure. And that's all accounted for. We have all the settings, everything you need. Does that pretty much sum it up?
Yep.
John, thank you very much for joining me. Folks, if you guys are interested, and you should be, John Ginsler is the owner of LAPrintLab. And LAPrintLab is here in LA. They have the system. They've been working on it. You want your own custom stuff done? This is definitely the place to go. Creatives, innovators, people that want to do breakthroughs, you want to try something new, you want to show somebody something they've never seen before, give John a call because I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.